What's going on, guys, and welcome to the second episode of my PS4 career mode. I just want to say straight away, thank you so much for all the support on the first episode of my PS4 career mode. It was absolutely fantastic. Really appreciate all the likes you gave me, and if you want to help my channel out, just continue to leave a like. That it really does help my channel out. Leaving likes really do help the YouTuber. So if you enjoyed the first episode, if you started to enjoy the career mode early on, then leaving a like really does help, and it's much appreciated. And I thought I'd put episode number 2 up for you guys as well, just to say thank you for all the support on this morning's episode. But anyway, guys, we start today's episode off by looking at Danny Ings. Now, Danny Ings, of course, is a Burnley player. He's a very young, talented striker, but I don't think we're going to get him because he looks like he's going to cost too much for us. And Scott McDonald is a player which, once again, like Jermaine Easter you saw in the last episode, he's a player I really don't want. It's, I'm not against him or anything. He's a decent striker, of course, a very decent proven striker at this level. But to be honest, I don't really want him, and I'd rather look to sign younger players, even just on loan, just for a season. So yeah, McDonald's on his way to Watford, and I would like to replace him with Danny Ings, but I don't think it's going to happen because we don't really have the money for him. But anyway, the first competitive game of this career mode is against Peterborough United here in a Capital One Cup, and I didn't really talk about my aims in the last episode, but basically I'm not interested in the cup competitions whatsoever. This season is all about getting a high finish in the championship. I'm ideally going to be looking for a playoff place. I don't think automatic promotion is going to be possible with Millwall and this squad, but I think a playoff place is doable if we play well enough. So the cup competitions I'm really not interested in. If we do well and get far, then good, I'm very happy, but really I'm not that interested. But that does mean when I play in the Capital One Cup and in the FA Cup, I'll probably look to put backup sides out. And in this game, I did rest quite a few players. I did have a very strong side out, but I did rest quite a few players because we did have to start the Championship on the weekend. So I did rest quite a few players, but it was a pretty open first half, really good chances for both teams. But the goalkeepers were playing very well, and it was still 0-0. And in the 49th minute here, a real good chance to score. Only my second free kick on FIFA 14 here. I was looking down the list. There weren't too many good players, but Richard Chaplow's got some okay stats really, so I gave it to him, and eventually we had a second runner that runs over the ball. Chaplow shoots. Can he find the back of the net? Sadly no. The goalkeeper makes a good save low down to his left hand side, so it's still 0-0 here at London Road. And in the 76th minute, Liam Feeney gets on the ball down the right hand side. Looked as though this game was going to extra time because no team really had that killer edge, that killer instinct to put the ball in the back of the net. But Trotter gets the ball here down the right hand side, crosses it in, and Andy Keogh gets to the ball there. The Irishman gets his head to it, puts the ball past the goalkeeper, and in his 78th minute, we finally had the breakthrough. It was such a difficult game, this one. It really was. Peterborough defended really well, and thankfully with just over 10 minutes to go, we did get the breakthrough and make it 1-0. So Keogh gets the goal, we're 1-0 up here, and in the 86th minute, a great chance to seal it. Lee Martin gets on the ball, crosses it in, it's towards Keogh, and this time his header is well saved by the goalkeeper. So it does finish at 1-0 to Millwall, so we do advance to the next round of the Capital One Cup. That's fantastic, but I'm not really that bothered. I guess I was just more delighted to get the first win of the series, It's nice to advance, it's nice to be going through to the next round, but if we would have went out, I wouldn't have been that bothered. But 1-0 the final score, Keogh gets the only goal of the game. It's our first win of the series, and it is our first competitive win of the series in a competitive game. So yeah, very, very pleased. But anyway, straight after that, we saw that Burnley rejected the transfer offer for Danny Ings. That's not a real surprise. We kind of expected that, to be honest. He's obviously a player I would really like. He's a very young and talented player. I'd imagine he's got potential of the high 70s, so he looks like a pretty decent player, but I don't think it's going to happen because you can see by our budget we don't really have the money. It's always going to be lower than his valuation, and we don't really have players to swap either. So with that in mind, I put in a third attempt. This was my third and final attempt, and we'd wait and see if Danny Ings would Burnley would accept the transfer, but they wouldn't. It was never going to happen. So there you go. But we'll wait and see. But anyway, the first game of the Championship is away at Pride Park to take on Derby here, taking on Derby County. This was going to be the first game of the Championship, so I was really looking forward to getting a win in this game, and really desperate and determined to make sure he would pick up an early 3 points here. Of course, Derby now under Steve McLaren. It was going to be a difficult game for our opening day of the season away, but even so, I still believe that this squad has got enough to beat these teams. And like I say, I don't think we can go up automatically promoted, not automatic promotion, but I definitely think we got about a good enough squad. And if we play well enough, that we can stake a claim for a playoff place. So yeah, we do take on Derby, and yeah, the next gen graphics just look awesome, don't they? It takes ages for the squad lineup to be shown nowadays, which is annoying, but the next gen graphics make up for it. It's really, really awesome. But anyway, the first chance of the game came in the 9th minute here. Derby were playing the ball around really nicely. A chip ball came over the top. Weiser lost out the header, and sadly it came through to Johnny Russell, who put the ball into the back of the net, and Derby were in front just 10 minutes in. Very, very disappointing to let that goal go in there. It's just it was poor defending. That's one of the downsides to Weiser. He's not really a solid right back, to be honest, because he is supposed to be a right midfielder, and he didn't win the header, and sadly it resulted in a goal. But we had a corner in the 34th minute. I think it was Nicky Bailey who stood over it, crossed it in towards Steve Morrison, gets his head on the ball, great save, and then somehow Mark Beavers fails to make the chance count. So still 1-0 here. But in the 53rd minute, Liam Feeney gets on the ball, skips past Forsyth for a lovely piece of skill, keeps on going down the right hand side, manages to hold off his man, crosses the ball in towards Morrison, and his header hits the bar, and Derby managed to clear. So we really were pressing. I felt like we were the better team in this game. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And in the 58th minute here, Liam Feeney gets taken down. It's a definite foul, and I think a booking also came out for this player yesterday. Was it Bryson? I think it was Bryson. Was it Bryson? Let's see, was it Bryson? It was indeed Bryson. A free kick, definite foul, and a booking as well. We still owed a free kick. Liam trot across it in. It's a wonderful free kick. What a delivery it was. And Nicky Bailey gets onto it and puts the ball into the back of the net. So a very, very good finish there from Bailey. That free kick was so lovely as well. It's just such a wonderfully curled and whipped delivery into the centre. Great header by Bailey. And as I said, I really like the next gen celebrations and the next gen animations on the replays. They look really, really good. So 1-1 here. But in the 86th minute we are holding on for the point. Derby really were pressing ever since we got that goal. Hughes gets on the ball, gives it to Davies, slides it through. Forsyth shoots, but David Ford makes a very, very good save late on in this game. So a brilliant stop by our Irish goalkeeper, and it does finish 1-1. So a decent result. I mean, you know, the only reason I was disappointed in this game was because we had more shots, and you know, we had the lion's share of the chances really, and we probably should have scored more than once because we did hit the bar. The goalkeeper made a really good save to deny Morrison in the first half and Beavers, but even so, it's not a bad result. Those draws are pretty realistic, I would say, and you know, not a bad result whatsoever. So I'll take the 1-1 draw. It would have been nice to get, you know, one game, one win in the championship, but I'll take the draw. It wasn't that bad, and yeah, we just got to be satisfied with it. But the third game of today's episode was against Ipswich Town. We went straight into this one after the Derby County game, and this game was as well also being played in midweek. So this is exactly what I was talking about in the first episode. We need a big squad because we're always going to be playing, well, not always, but regularly playing in midweek. We need a big squad to continuously rotate the players around, make sure that no one's running low on fitness and subsequently pulling their hammies and getting injured. So that's why I need a big squad, and that's why I'm signing some players which you guys may think pointless, but to me, they're very useful. But anyway, we did take on Ipswich, and not many chances in this game, but the first real one, I should say, fell in the 50th minute. A great ball through to Steve Morrison. Morrison comes through and smashes the ball past Scott Loach. I think Loach was pretty weak for a goalkeeper there. Instead of just sort of standing big at his near post, he just sort of collapsed onto the floor, really, and Morrison scores and pulls out a very, very unique celebration. So good finish by Morrison. It's 1-0 here, but the game was just so poor. It really was. I mean, I know I'm playing against the AI on Legendary, so it's very hard to create chances, but even so, it was a very, very poor game. Another great chance for Morrison here to double his goal tally, but this time Scott Loach did what he should have done in the first strike by Morrison. That was stand big and make the save. He didn't, and this time he did, and the score was still 1-0. So still 1-0, but again, Ipswich really weren't that good in this game. They were very, very poor, to be honest, and there weren't too many chances, but we were 1-0 up, and Waghorn off the bench had a good chance to make it 2-0, but his shot was saved, and Trott's header went straight into the gloves of Scott Loach. So it did indeed finish 1-0. We got the win. It's our first win in the championship, so a very decent start. And yeah, it was a decent 3 points. Again, Ipswich rarely threatened. I mean, that's the annoying thing about the AI on Legendary. You know, they keep holding the ball so much, they don't actually create many chances. You know, they just keep hold of possession. But we got the win by a goal to nil, and that's the most important thing. And we then saw that Danny Ings, Burnley rejected a transfer, and it was going to happen. We knew we weren't going to get hold of him. He's going to cost us too much money. We don't really need a striker either. You know, we got Morrison, we got Keogh, obviously players like Waghorn are there, and obviously Nguoth we got from Liverpool on loan. We don't really need another striker. It was just my kind of, hope that we could get a really good young talented striker, but we don't really need one, so it's not really essential. But anyway, the fourth and final game of today's episode is against Watford here. I think we were away from home at Vicarage Road. Yes, we were. So again, it was going to be a difficult game under Zola's management. Watford are a very decent side, and it was going to be a difficult game. But of course, unbeaten so far, unbeaten in the series, so that we had that behind. In the back of our minds, so we had that to look forward to and try and progress as an unbeaten team. But of course, Watford do have a very good side with some very decent players, and Almunia is a goalkeeper. I still believe that goalkeeper should be playing in the Premiership. A lot of people don't rate Almunia, but I think he got so much stick from Arsenal fans. I know he made a lot of mistakes, but I actually thought he was quite a decent goalkeeper really when he was on his day. But anyway, we took on Watford, and in the 80th minute, the first chance of the game came here when Ryan Gold intercepted two Watford defenders. The ball came to Morrison. We had a great chance for a 3-on-1 opportunity. Steve Morrison rolls through Carrasco. Brilliant chance for our Chilean winger to get his first goal in a Millwall shirt competitively, and Almunia makes a very decent save. So still 0-0, and a few minutes after that, a great chance for Watford here. Weiser fails to deal with it at the back. It comes through, and the shot was by Fabrini, I think it might have been. It was a good save by Ford, and it was still there. So that's the danger of Michel Weiser, as a right back. He's not a natural right back. He's a right midfielder, and when he's playing there, he could make some mistakes, not be aware defensively, and that was let off for us. But Almunia again was just proving what I was saying about a minute ago. A very decent goalkeeper. Really good stop to deny Carrasco from close range for the second time in the game. And then the 55th minute here, it was a bit of a disappointing game, this one, for us, because we were giving the ball away quite a lot. I mean, the rain wasn't helping. My passes were going astray. So as we came to the second half, I decided I wouldn't have a more direct approach in the game plan. I'd try and pass the ball around a little bit more. And you see Scott Malone skip past his man here. Goes down the left-hand side. Plays a good free ball to Carrasco. Carrasco takes out two defenders here with the fake shot. Goes through onto his right foot, and this is exactly why I signed Carrasco. This is exactly why I'm playing him on left wing. He's got the pace, he's got the skill, and he's got the ability to finish when he cuts inside onto his right foot. So a brilliant finish by Carrasco. 1-0, we go in front here, and that was also how the game finished. So quite a disappointing game once again. We did get the win. That's the most important thing, and the unbeaten start continues in this series. And that is very good. So a good win, 3 wins and a draw in today's episode, and that is good news for us. And as always, guys, a big thank you for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have, please leave a like, so that's much appreciated, and it really does help my channel out, and I'll see you for the next episode very soon.